Coming up tonight on Middle Tennessee News, Rutherford County teamed up with U.S. Marshals to arrest a wanted murder suspect, and a driver has pleaded guilty to the Las Casas Pike accident that killed an 11-year-old.
MTSU Department of Biology has been rewarded $2 million in research grants, and a Murfreesboro resident received a STARS Award at the latest City Council meeting. All those stories plus your local weather and sports. Middle Tennessee News starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Elise Sandlin.
And I'm Alexandra Aguilar. Welcome to Middle Tennessee News. A crash in DeKalb County resulted in life flight helicopters being called in. 3 people were flown to Vanderbilt Medical Center after a head-on crash in DeKalb County. The 2-vehicle crash happened on Short Mountain Highway just after 6:45 p.m. on Sunday night. DeKalb County EMS called in 3 life flight helicopters, 1 for each patient, due to the nature of their injuries. No additional details have been released about the circumstances surrounding the crash or the patient's conditions.
2 officers shot in Laverne have officially been released from the hospital. Officers are still searching for 38-year-old John Drake Jr., who is the son of Nashville Police Chief John Drake. Drake Jr. is accused of firing at Laverne officers on Saturday while they were investigating a stolen car at Dollar General. The officers were identified as Officer Ashley Bowley Jack and Officer Gregory Kern. Both officers have been released and are on the road to recovery. Drake was last seen heading north on Stones River Road from the Dollar General, wearing a hat, a black t-shirt with a white hockey mask emblem on the front with red lettering and gray pants. Drake Jr. has been on the TBI Most Wanted list, and a reward of up to $2,500 is being offered for information leading to his arrest. If you have any information regarding the case, please contact the TBI.
A suspect who eluded prosecution was arrested last week by the U.S. Marshals Joint Fugitive Task Force with help from the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department. Murfreesboro native Nathaniel Lamont Buchanan was charged with fatally shooting Madrick Lamont Elliott in May of 2018. Buchanan was also charged with the possession of a weapon by a convicted felon and was released with a $100,000 bond. When Buchanan failed to show in court in 2022, a warrant was issued for his arrest. Sheriff's Office deputies, detectives, and a K-9 unit responded with the U.S. Marshals Task Force to serve a search warrant Wednesday in Meigs Drive in Murfreesboro, where Buchanan was located and taken into custody. Buchanan is being held on a $225,000 bond at the Rutherford County Adult Detention Center. Buchanan is scheduled to be in circuit court November 20th.
A driver has pleaded guilty to the May 2022 crash on Las Casas Pike that killed an 11-year-old. 43-year-old Eduardo Tejeda pleaded to 9 counts, including vehicular homicide, 3 counts of vehicular assault, and driving under the influence in Rutherford County Circuit Court. Judge Howard Wilson accepted Tejeda's guilty plea and sentenced him to 11 years in prison. He could be eligible for parole in 3.5 years, and his license was suspended for 10 years. Tejeda's attorney read a letter on his behalf, apologizing to the family and asking for their forgiveness. Family members of the 11-year-old openly wept in the courtroom as the victim impact statements were read. Members of the Murfreesboro Police Department's fatal accident crash team were in court as a show of support for the family.
2 of MTSU's Department of Biology professors received $1 million in grants from the National Science Foundation. Since the spring of 2022, MTSU has earned an R2 designation with doctoral university research activity. Biology assistant professors Liz Barnes and Donnie Walker are proof that MTSU is competing with a high level of research, each receiving $1 million in grants. The Dean of the College of Basic and Applied Sciences, Greg Van Patten, said NSF grants are highly sought after, and this accomplishment means big steps for MTSU's research program. The grant provides over 5 years funding for those that make it through the difficult application process.
And now we have Dr. Larry Burris with this week's media commentary.
I'd be willing to bet a couple of dozen donuts you've made at least one phone call or been on at least one website that asks you to give some kind of answer, a number or a word or two about whatever you're calling about. and the phone or computer screen has come back with a prescription or a location or some kind of answer to your question. You understand, I think, that you've been dealing with a machine at the other end of the line. The machine is not alive, it doesn't have feelings, it really doesn't care. It just runs programs. Well, to hear some people tell it, an engineer at Google has developed, well, something that not only seems to think it's alive, its developer thinks it's alive as well, and is really thinking and having real conversations. The software engineer has been suspended, and some media commentators have expressed dismay and alarm that the language program, called LaMDA, is somehow going to take over the world. Well, let's be real clear here. This language processing program is not actually thinking anything. It's not alive, and it doesn't have emotions or feelings. Now, before you say this whole thing is crazy, let me ask you this. How many of you call that device on your kitchen counter by the name Alexa and refer to what is in fact an it as she? Numerous studies have shown how people will not type negative comments about a computer they're using, but will type the negative comments on a different computer. Apparently, many people don't want to offend their personal computer, the machine they're using. I've heard it said that anyone can talk to the dead, but there's a real problem if you think the dead are talking back. Likewise, just because you think that machine on your desk is alive and thinking and has feelings, doesn't mean it actually does. I'm Larry Burris.
Thank you, Dr. Burris. Make sure to join us next week for his next media commentary.
And now Preston Todd joins us with our first look at the weather. Preston, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Elise. For our high today, Murfreesboro is sitting at a high of 77 degrees. Shelbyville is slightly warmer at 78, and Woodbury, Mount Juliet, Manchester, McMinnville, and Smithville have our lowest degrees of the day with a high coming in at 76 degrees. As for our humidity, Mount Juliet is coming in with our lowest humidity resting at 35%. Shelbyville and McMinnville share a humidity of 44%. Manchester has a humidity of 43%, Woodbury 46%, Smithville 48%, Murfreesboro 48%. Murfreesboro is resting at a slightly higher humidity with 54%.
Thanks, Preston. And still ahead on Middle Tennessee News, MTN reporter Izzy Gutierrez will join us with a package, and a world-renowned guest lecturer will be visiting MTSU. Preston will also be joining us with our second look at the weather. That's coming up next on Middle Tennessee News. Stick around.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right, because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let
MTN reporter Izzy Gutierrez was able to check out a unique music venue here in Murfreesboro. Let's take a look.
At the corner of East Clark Boulevard and North Tennessee Boulevard, one normal house is actually rocking out. Welcome to The Bunk, a carport turned music venue just minutes off of MTSU campus. And the maker behind this concert location is William Ogden.
We did a lot of parties, and sometimes we would have some friend play some music, or we would, set up a little sound system. I started, booking actual shows.
This simple carport, complete with road signs, a lawnmower, and hanging lights, becomes something magical. But why is it called The Bunk?
So one of the interesting things that we do here at The Bunk is everybody who comes to The Bunk can sign the couch. And really, you can write whatever you want on here. There's all kinds of ridiculous stuff on here.
And not only does he run his own music venue, he also has his own audio engineering company with a trailer filled with his gear.
The Bunk kind of comes with me. The things that make The Bunk special have to do with the business service that I offer with Nashville Live Sound, my rental company.
You're driving me crazy, I always knew.
As William gets closer to graduating this spring, The Bunk will always be with him. From Murfreesboro, Izzy Goody, Middle Tennessee News.
Thank you, Izzy, for another segment of Lifestyle and Entertainment. Be sure you follow The Bunk on Instagram and check out their next concert and all up-and-coming events.
During the last City Council meeting on Friday, a Murfreesboro resident was honored with the Stars Award for their service. Mayor Shane McFarland honored city employee Richard Johnson as the September Stars Award recipient. Johnson is an employee of the Water Resources Department who took quick action to extinguish a burning vehicle. The purpose of the Stars Award is to recognize and reward those employees who go beyond their normal job duties in providing outstanding customer service to internal and external customers.
A world-renowned forensic psychologist is coming to MTSU as a guest lecturer. World-renowned psychologist Elizabeth Loftus will present Illusions of Memory, the Misinformation Effect and False Memory in Forensic Cases. The lecture will be held at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 26, in the MTSU Student Ballroom. Loftus studies the malleability of human memory as her work revolves around the concept that your memory can be manipulated. Loftus has published more than 20 books, more than 600 scientific articles, and has been recognized for her research with 8 honorary doctorates and elections from numerous prestigious societies. This lecture will also honor the funder of MTSU's Forensic Institute for Research and Education, Professor Emeritus Hugh Berryman. Berryman was honored in retirement by his name being added to the Legends Lecture Series.
MTSU's Albert Gore Research Center has received a grant of $213,000 to fund Brown v. Board of Education Oral History Project. The Albert Gore Research Center focuses on the study of American politics, education, and Southern U.S. history with an emphasis on Middle Tennessee. Over the 30 months, Gore Center staff will conduct oral history interviews, which document the impact of the Brown v. Board Supreme Court ruling to end school segregation. The grant will help the center fund their research as they travel across the country to understand the full history of educational equity.
Middle Tennessee State University will host its biannual Religious Studies Colloquium with a guest speaker on October 26th. The Philosophy and Religious Studies Department will host Dr. Anand Vivek Taneja as a guest lecturer at the event. Taneja is an author and Vanderbilt graduate known for writing genealogy, poetry, and interspecies intimacy, more than human memory, and Muslim ecological thought. The public lecture will be free and open to all students and faculty on campus. A free lunch will be served following the lecture with no reservation required. And now Preston joins us with our second look at weather. Preston, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Elise. Smithville is our lowest temperature of the day, sitting at 51 degrees. McMinnville has a low at 52 degrees. Manchester 53, Woodbury 54, and Mount Juliet, Murfreesboro, and Shelbyville all have slightly warmer lows tonight, showing a low at 56 degrees. As for current conditions, Smithville's current temperature is 65 degrees, McMinnville 67, Murfreesboro and Mount Juliet with a current of 63 degrees. Woodbury and Manchester 66 degrees, and Shelbyville has our highest current of the day, being 68 degrees. Also, and the moon phase for tonight will be a waxing gibbous, so be sure to check that out around 6 p.m. at sundown. Elise, back to you.
Thanks, Preston. When we get back from break, Preston will be back with our full 5-day forecast, and Dylan Simmons will be in the MTN Sports Den with a look into what the week holds for sports. See you after the break.
Which one is the one they cut out for me? Is it this?
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Welcome back to Middle Tennessee News. Here's Preston Todd with our full 5-day forecast. Preston, do we have any warm days left to look forward to this week?
Actually, Elise, we do have quite a few. Today in Murfreesboro, we will have a high of 77 with a low of 56 degrees, mostly clear skies. Tuesday's high will be 78 with a low 55 with partly cloudy skies. Wednesday will be mostly sunny with a high of 79 and a low of 61. Thursday's is not much different with a high of 79 degrees and a low of 64 degrees, also partly cloudy. And last but not least, Friday will be our highest of the week with a high of 81 and a low of 62 with partly cloudy skies as well. That's all I have for your full 5-day weather forecast today. Elise, back to you.
Thanks, Preston. When we get back, Dylan Simmons will join us in the MTN Sports Den with our weekend sports update. Make sure to stick around.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the MTN Sports Den. This past week of Raiders action was like a Tesla coil. Absolutely electric. Let's get right into it with women's soccer frying the Gamecocks. Middle took on Jacksonville State on Sunday and took them to the cleaners with an effective offensive attack. Manon Labarge got the scoring streak started with a 5th-minute corner kick goal to give the Raiders the lead. The magic had just begun, though, as in the second half, MT would make more magic happen on an Ellie Goff 55th-minute goal. The final touch would be just 5 minutes later as Campbell Cavisto sunk a capper into the net that sealed a Raider victory. Lauren Spanstra was another hero in the match by capturing assist on 2 of the 3 goals. Middle Tennessee won the match 3-0 and captured their first conference win since 2021. MTSU hopes that this win can catapult them to another victory against FIU at home in the season finale. First touch is at 7 p.m. on Friday. Blue Raider football fought hard but ended up getting burned by the Flames this past Tuesday. MT faced off against the Liberty Flames in Lynchburg, Virginia in another edition of Weekday CUSA. MTSU got off to a rock-solid start thanks to the Raiders' defense, as they forced multiple turnovers on the Liberty offense, including an interception from Tyrell Raby. Nick Fadiato was dynamite as well, firing 2 quick first-half touchdowns. In the second half, the Raiders kept the pedal to the metal by matching scores from Liberty every step of the way to hold a 35-28 lead in the third quarter. Unfortunately, familiar trends reemerged in the final quarter as the Raiders turned the ball over a total of 3 times in the final 15 minutes. Liberty capitalized on Raider mistakes to score 14 unanswered points in a 42-35 win at home to remain unbeaten. Although the result was disappointing, head coach Rick Stockstill saw bright spots in the overall performance.
I know our record doesn't say that, but we've got a good team, and these guys, fought their tails off tonight. We came up a little bit short, did some things in the second half that, ultimately was the difference in the game.
Volleyball ate barbecue against UNC Asheville in their own Tuesday matchup this past week. Middle Tennessee made the Bulldogs into a Pepsi bottle in the middle of rush hour traffic. Absolutely crushed. The Raiders swept aside UNC Asheville in 3 straight sets with dominant performances all around. Kayla Henley led the team with 12 kills, while Taylor Eisert managed a massive 33 assists total on the night. As a team, MT recorded a monstrous 12 service aces and a hitting percentage of 493 in the match. The win puts the Raiders at 16-6 overall, and they now look to late season challenges. The Raiders will next be hosting the UTEP Miners on Friday and Saturday in COSA action. History was made on October 16th by one Leo Rakin for MTSU men's tennis. Rakin was a standout star in the ITA Ohio Valley Regional Championships in Chattanooga, Tennessee this past week. The senior was unstoppable in his journey, not losing a single set all the way to the final round, where he faced off against Powell Fanlow of Memphis. While Rakin was defeated in the first set, he came back scarier than Wormy from SpongeBob against his opponent. In set 2, he would clinch a 6-4 victory before winning his championship with a bagel, aka a 6-0 win, in the third and final set. With the seniors championship win, he also has the opportunity to play in the ITA Fall Nationals under the sunny skies of San Diego, California. Congratulations, Leo. Women's tennis played in their own ITA Invitational this past week. The Blue Raiders played in Knoxville in the Women's ITA Regional in Day 1 singles action. Santa Garicani won in 3 sets in her round of 64 matchup on Friday and also won her doubles match alongside Rudea Smith. Eloise Swarbrick and Alicia Truden also managed an impressive doubles victory against Chattanooga by a score of 8-3. On Day 2, Garicani would advance to the round of 32 thanks to a win against Lara Schneider, but ultimately fell short in the next round. That's all I have for you guys today. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Dylan. And wrapping up our show tonight, Middle Tennessee News is adding another trophy to their case.
Behind us,
last year, our students and faculty went off the beaten path and traveled to Paris.
It'll be the last time you see it. Today we'll be looking at some of the more hidden treasures.
This is Off the Beaten Path, Paris.
As the students, they created a 30-minute show of the people and places of the city. This show has received some attention and won another award in the video category.
Boating in Paris is common. Sitting at a cafe in Paris is common. But what about walking onto a boat to enjoy books, plants, and a cup of coffee?
The College of Broadcasters awarded Middle Tennessee News for their special broadcast, Off the Beaten Path Paris. To watch this show, visit our website at middletennesseenews.net under the Special Reports tab.
Thank you for joining us, Middle Tennessee News.
Make sure to follow us on all of our social media sites on Facebook /MiddleTennesseeNews.net or at Middle Tennessee News on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Natural disasters are a